What's up, everybody? I'm Rick.
And I'm Anna.
And today we're going to do once again something a bit different. Anna, you and I met not here in Canada,
not in Romania,
but somewhere else in a distant land called Japan. We both lived in Japan for a while, and that's where we met. And we thought that we'd just share with you guys what it's like to live in Japan. We're gonna do this as a series because we've been in Japan like for what, a year almost?
Almost 11 months.
And so we'll split these in several videos, speaking of different places in Japan that we've been to and like our impressions of them and also our advice to anyone who'd like to go there. First one of these will be Tokyo.
And Tokyo is actually a bit of a special one because we actually lived in Tokyo.
Yeah.
All the other places we've just visited.
Yeah.
So I think we have a lot of things to say.
Yeah, this one is probably
Tokyo.
Going to be the longest one of them. So this is just going to be a free-form conversation. We'll just talk about our life in Tokyo, hit certain like points that we wanted to talk about. First of all, why? Why were we in Japan?
So we were actually both there as students,
yeah,
right?
Foreign students.
And we went to Waseda University for 11 months, for 2 semesters.
Yeah. So like we got there a few years ago in the fall. Like I remember it was in September. I'd like to ask you, like, how was the process of you getting there and like the first day you were there? Like, what was that like?
Like I was before getting on the plane, when I was still back home, I had like so many expectations. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be like this and I can't wait. And like I was thinking it's gonna be amazing and I'm gonna see, well, not the city lights because I got there in the morning, but the buildings and everything, and then I'm gonna go to the university, I'm gonna see the dorm. By the time I got there, like by the time I actually landed, all of that just vanished from my head. It was like a blank canvas. I got there and I was like, what is this? What is this thing around me?
Was it a negative first impression?
No, not at all. It was just that I feel like I got there, when I got there, I wasn't thinking about what I had in my head before.
Yeah.
I just got there and like everything, I was just curious. I wanted to see everything, but I wasn't thinking about everything that I knew before, everything that I was expecting to see,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like ready to experience this
overtaking
without overthinking everything,
Yeah.
So it was really nice. It wasn't as like chaotic as I expected it to be.
I got there the day before they were supposed to come get us at the airport because they came to get the students and big buses. But I got there a day before. I was there with a friend. We both traveled there together. And we decided to just go and split a hotel room,
right.
The price of a hotel room, rather than sleep in the airport. So that was my first night in Japan. I was in the hotel room.
In a hotel.
Yeah, watching Japanese television. I remember they were playing Powerpuff Girl in Japanese and Tom and Jerry in Japanese. And I was like, oh my god, like this is so...
Like everything is in
weird.
Japanese.
Exactly. And then the hotel room had this Japanese toilet, with the buttons and the
the smart ones,
the fancy Japanese
right.
toilets. And so first thing I do is try to press like the different buttons, and then the water comes out, and I'm like, how do I stop this? No, it was an interesting first night. But then the day after they came to get us, got to the dorm, made us visit the dorm, and then made us visit the neighborhood. And I remember like just being like this the whole time, like
oh my god, yeah,
walking around, and then you look like, oh my god, what is this, what is that?
After
what
the first
this?
day in a new place, you always get that like neck pain.
And like everything is so confusing, and like it's like we were students, we were foreign students,
right,
in a foreign country. And so like I want to talk about how it was to be a student, first of all, at Waseda University. To anyone who might be interested in going to Waseda University, what was the experience like?
The student life, the university side of it, I have to say it's really difficult. Like Waseda is a like pretty top university in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the classes were not that easy. Not for me. I studied. I was in the Japanese language program, and my classes were like pretty tough. I had to write like essays in Japanese on a weekly basis for like different classes. Do all the kanji practice and everything. So it required a lot of, hard work, but, it was good, and it helped me study, and I really wanted, like, that's why I went there. But outside of the school part, the student life outside of school in Japan, I think it's just insane. Like, the number of times that you go out and hang out with people, you drink and you party and you go to karaoke and you go to like, festivals and whatever fun events like this is just insane. It's ridiculous. We were doing something like this pretty much every week. I think for me, that was what the student life there was. Just like work hard for school and then go party.
The nice thing about being a student, whether it's in your own country or abroad, is that you have only a few classes per week and then all this free time. And like you feel that true. Free time like with whatever, like these activities, like going to karaoke, going to a bar, going to like hanging out with the other students, but also just walking around during the day,
we had like a lot of time that we just spend walking through the city and discovering and exploring. Yeah,
which is bring me to my next point is like the daily life. We lived there. We weren't just tourists there. Like, how was the daily life? One thing that I want to bring up, like in particular, is a little detail that's always the first thing I talk to people about when I mention Japan. It's convenience store.
And just take one word from that, just convenience in general. It's like so easy. Everything is accessible.
They are so nice.
But
like,
convenience stores.
They were my church. Like I would go to 7-Eleven or Lawson or Family Mart, which is my personal favorite to get that spicy chicken over there. But yeah.
That like $5 or less lunchbox.
Yeah, the bento for like super cheap. And by the way, cost of living. Okay. The dorms that we were in, super small room, super high price. Okay, real estate is expensive in Japan. It's really
expensive, yes.
Transportation, expensive in Japan. You want to get anywhere, you have to pay every time, you get that Pasmo card.
Yeah, the card. And then it calculates how much you have to pay based on what station you get on and what station you get off.
Yeah, so like it tends to like pile up, and transportation is also can be very expensive. But food...
Oh my god, yes.
Miraculously, food is so much cheaper than like here.
It's cheap it's cheaper than in Romania. And Romania is a cheap country when it comes to like pretty much anything. And mind you, if you want like, good, fancy stuff, they'll be expensive. Like if you want to make a steak or something like this, sure, it probably will cost more.
If you want to import stuff that is imported too, that might cost more.
Right.
But just going to the restaurant, and eating with your friends can be very cheap. Like for less than 500 yen, you can have a meal outside.
We could afford to eat like that almost every day, really.
Which, while we're on the subject of food, like what was your personal favorite? Like when you think about eating in Japan.
Eating in Japan. I mean, I have to say, really do like sushi.
Yeah,
it's really good. But it's not necessarily the thing that I was eating the most. I don't think so. I think that the rice balls.
Yeah.
Rice balls in general.
You just go to Sukiya or Yoshinoya, like for
it's
a real
really cheap. It's filling you really really well. Like it's consistent, and it's good. And depending, you can change the topping, and it like changes the taste completely. And you add that
raw egg on top of it. Yeah,
oh my gosh!
You get that oyakodon going.
So good.
But curry, we had a lot of curry. I really liked, Japanese curry, but Indian curry, Nepalese curry, like that. You can find a variety of it there. Always good. Omurice, ramen.
Ramen, not one of my favorites. I did have it quite a few times, obviously, but I wouldn't say it's my go-to Japanese meal.
Also, what I really love, yakitori. You know?
Oh yeah, that's so good. I have heard people saying that Japanese food is like sushi, raw stuff. Like I don't want. No, you'll find something. Like they have so many, like so much variety. Their food really isn't.
If you don't want to eat raw food, you can find something.
If you don't want to eat fish, you'll still find a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Another thing, I thought we'd like go through quickly some highlights of the 4 seasons. So if you guys are thinking about traveling to Japan, you know, fall, winter, spring, summer, when is the best time to go? What are the stuff that's happening during these seasons?
Right.
What did we like experience
during like the different seasons?
So we got there in fall.
Yeah.
Fall, like I'm from Canada, you know, so like a lot of people were freaking out about the fall colors, you know, the momiji.
Yes.
Yeah, but to me it was just, this is like fall as usual, you know, we have a lot of fall colors.
We do too, yeah. In Romania it is pretty, but it's like if you live in a country that has all the 4 seasons, I don't think there's anything that you haven't
like
seen.
that you haven't seen before.
The only thing that I want to say is that though they do have this like whole events where like people go to certain places to watch the fall colors.
Yeah.
And so it makes it feel special. Even though like you look at it and you're like, yeah, it's just like a tree with yellow leaves or like red leaves.
It's pretty, but I've seen it before.
Yeah, but the fact that everyone goes there to see it, it gives it like, it's a nice atmosphere. It's like, it's a really nice thing.
Halloween in Japan, Shibuya on Halloween night. Full of people, you can barely walk.
Everybody's just dressed up in the street.
Barely like breathe, like you're walking like this, but like the ambience, like it's crazy. People, it's costumes, drinking, because you can drink in the street in Japan. So like everyone's drinking, but I think they Shibuya passed a law to stop public drinking on Halloween night because it was getting
out of control.
Hand, yeah.
And one thing that I want to say, I come from a country that we actually don't celebrate Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that was my first
Halloween
ever that I got to celebrate. And so it was a really insane experience.
Yes. We both got dressed up. You got dressed as a gypsy.
A gypsy, yes.
And I was a panda, of course. Got to stay on brand.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next season. Winter. It was not winter. It was just a continuation of fall for a few more months. Because, like, it wasn't that cold. There was, like, almost no snow. I remember it snowed for that
the guy
one
from
day.
Canada.
It
snowed for one day. And even not even a whole day, like the morning.
Other highlights of the winter, of course, Christmas and New Year. Which, to me, like, the way they celebrate them is kind of reversed. Like they give much more importance to New Year.
Yeah, from like a
family standpoint,
celebration point of view.
Christmas is more of a couple thing or more of
a like go out, have fun with friends.
Yeah, exactly. And so we try to do it a bit that way. We went out on Christmas, had the
traditional KFC.
Yeah.
Christmas KFC.
They dress what's his name? Colonel Sanders as Santa.
As Santa.
And everyone orders fried chicken. It's interesting. Illumination though.
Oh,
they do know how to illuminate a city. It's beautiful.
They take it to the next level.
The
like
Christmas
the
light.
Kind of decorations they have, and they have like light shows.
Yeah.
With like the light like moves and it's a music in the background, so it's synchronized. It's so beautiful. And
then on New Year we went clubbing, and then for midnight headed to Meiji Temple where we did the traditional. We
didn't go for midnight. We went.
After midnight, because at midnight we were still in the club.
Yeah.
Next, spring, which to me is the season you should go visit Japan. Really, if you want to go to Japan, go in spring. I think the end, like the last 2 weeks of March to like
the first 2 weeks
of April is when you'll get, if you're in Tokyo, peak sakura season is around there.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see sakura, the cherry blossom.
You'll have to be careful though, like research it if you're going to other parts of Japan, because the sakura season actually differs quite a lot depending on when
they bloom at different period of time. And just go in the spring, enjoy the spring colors. It's not too hot because in the summer it gets crazy, and then it's not
It's
the
not
grayish winter. So like
it's
to me,
really it's perfect.
It's the perfect season to go. We just mentioned it. Summer, hot, especially like July and August. August is the worst.
Especially, yeah.
So humid.
It's humid and it's just like you can't really be outside for too long.
Yeah, and so like I'm usually not one to complain about the humidity, heat. Like I'd rather that than winter, but I know a lot of people don't like that, and so like I wouldn't recommend going in August. In June, there's usually also a lot of rain. So again, like spring seems to be the best season, like if you want to go to Tokyo.
Totally.
Now I want to get more back into our personal experiences and talk about some of our favorite places in Tokyo. Tokyo is a big city. We went to a lot of different places while we were there. What would be some of your favorite spots?
Oh my god, like because it's really hard to pick just one. I think I really enjoy the temples in general.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like Meiji Shrine, like Sensoji in Asakusa.
Yeah.
Gotokuji. But yeah, Meiji, of all of them, I know it's like so classic, so touristy, but it's just so beautiful. It's a beautiful, like it's really big temple that has like a whole park as its like backyard, basically. Front yard too. It's a temple in a park and it's just massive. And it just, you get in there and you feel like, even though it's in the middle of the city, it's right near Harajuku. And it's also not far from Shibuya.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, just to pinpoint it.
It's pretty central.
It's pretty central, right? But you get inside the park, there are like ginormous trees everywhere. It just blocks all the sounds from the city. And you feel like you just escape the city as soon as you walk in. It's just so beautiful.
Not to be too touristy, but of course, if you go to Tokyo, you have to go to like Shibuya, Shinjuku, Harajuku, just to see. Like, even if you don't want to be that guy who's like, I'm in Tokyo, I'm a tourist, and I'm going to go to Shibuya Crossing. But like, just to see it, at least.
It's an experience that you really won't get anywhere else.
Exactly. And so even though it's full of people, I know a lot of people don't like when they go on a trip and all the other tourists are there.
Right.
You know,
really
you want to find your own secret spots. I understand that, but Shibuya Crossing, it's kind of a must.
It would be a shame to miss all of this.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an experience. And same goes for Akihabara. If you're an anime fan, I know a lot of people will say like, oh, don't go buy stuff at Akihabara, it's too expensive. But like, just go and look at it, just walk around and look at it, even if you don't buy anything.
Right, again, Akihabara is an experience in itself.
It's the experience. Us personally, we like to shop at for our anime stuff because we like anime. Nakano Broadway was one of the places we like to go, but especially Book Off.
Book Off. Oh, yes.
Because Book Off is a second-hand store, and so we would buy our manga there for like 100 yen.
I bought so many mangas there, like for 100 yen, which is like, what, about $1?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have a lot of the Inuyasha volumes.
Yeah, I got tons of them. You can see some of them
so
here
many,
in the
like
background.
One Piece.
I have so many One Piece to see here, there, in Japanese, and the price is there actually, 100 yen, 108 yen because of the tax.
I think this is something that we should mention. If you can't read Japanese and you don't just want to have them for the sentimental value, then probably you wouldn't be interested. One thing that I really loved about being in Tokyo is that I would walk down the streets and like you feel like you're like in this like big modern city, but at some point you'll just turn around the corner and there will be like this little temple
all of
there.
A sudden,
all of a sudden with like the nice story gate. You will find these like little temples or shrines just hidden between like two big massive modern buildings, and it's like an oasis of, I don't know, peace and quiet, and it's just beautiful and it's refreshing, and it's really, I loved just walking down the streets and finding those, like you find a little treasure.
We mentioned like a lot of big places where a lot of tourists go, but what about the smaller like neighborhood, the smaller discoveries? Can you think of anything that like you really enjoyed, and it's not like on a tour guide of what to do in Tokyo?
No, that's difficult because I do remember walking. I love walking, so I would walk from place to place a lot. So I do remember seeing a lot of nice things just walking down the streets, but I wouldn't be able to pinpoint exactly. My advice is just, if you do have time, just at least explore the neighborhood where you are, like whether it's around your hotel or whatever, because you will see in the main like districts, the touristic districts and like the business districts too, they have like these like massive buildings, like modern architecture. But as soon as you get in a residential neighborhood, all the houses are really small. Even apartment buildings are rarely like big. There are some that are like really high, like really tall, but most of them are like 3 to 5 floors tops. So, and they have these like nice yards. They have the pine trees in the yard. So just walking down those like little streets, you have like a feeling that you're really in another place. And it's not even that hard to find these kind of things.
What I would say is, yes, walk around wherever you are. You know, like even if your hotel is in Shinjuku, you will find like some spots in Shinjuku where there are less people, where there's more like discoveries to be made. But also get away from the Yamanote. Try to get away from the main train lines and the main train stations, and like just get off at, I don't know, a random subway station and walk around, and you'll see like wherever it rarely would I get out somewhere, walk and not find something interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Just explore. Next, I wanted to talk about some of the stuff we did, like activity-wise. What was that like? What did you like to do when you were there? I'm gonna start here by saying
okay, go ahead.
One word.
Yes.
Karaoke. Oh my god, karaoke was my life. Karaoke, you know, you just go there, you get a private room with your friends, start singing your ass off. You can get drinks. If you go there, from the time might differ depending on which karaoke you go to, but usually from 11 p.m.
Yeah.
You can get the room for the whole night. And so you're in that room all night, open bar. You will start singing, you will enjoy the singing, and you will come back.
Yes.
Speaking of all you can drink, izakayas in Japan.
Oh my god. The number of places in Japan that just invite you to drink, eat, and have fun.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
Like
it's
you go to
a
Japanese bar, you get there, you can, for like 2 hours, get all you can eat, all you can drink together, and just like enjoy your time.
Right.
We went to a lot of different events. I remember we went to like big convention. We went to Anime Japan.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Because what is the best place in the world to go to an anime convention?
Yes. So we went to Anime Japan. We went to Jump Festa, which is similar, but it was mainly for like Jump comics, Jump mangas. But we didn't only do geeky things. We also did like more Japanese related stuff. You mentioned that you went to sumo. I also went to sumo.
Yeah, I watched a sumo, and to be fair, I expected to kind of be bored. You know, I've seen sumo before, but it's so interesting actually to watch it live. It's so much more different.
Festivals, there's like tons of festivals, mainly like most of them in the summer and fall. I remember, I think during the first few weeks when we got there, there was one right next to the dorm.
Like everyone dressed in yukatas, and well, not everyone, but like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they have all of those like activities that you usually see in manga and anime, with like catching the goldfish and what else?
Dancing.
The dancing, all of that. Also pretty.
Yeah. And you see them also like earlier in the day during the festival, like in the street, like carrying the big thing, you know.
It's usually the god of the temple.
So that's always interesting. more than that, I think most of our activities was just like regular stuff that you would do wherever you live, you know, because we were living there. At some point, you stop being a tourist, even though there's always something new to see in Tokyo. But at some point, you just live, you know, you don't need to see
a festival every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a new temple, new touristic spot every day.
At some point, you stop looking around like that, and you're just walking and doing your day-to-day business, you know.
And it's when you start walking like that and not being so immediately impressed by the surroundings that you start noticing something that I find very interesting in Tokyo, especially, which is the people.
Yeah, and people watching. I love people watching, but people watching in Tokyo or in Japan in general is like an activity in itself. It's so
if you do have just a little bit of time to just stand. And just observe just people walking around and like crowds moving and even everything from the way they are dressed to the way they walk down the street to the way they interact.
Soak it in, you know, soak it in. You're in a foreign country with foreign people, foreign to you, you know, and just like look around, see how they live, soak it in. And it's interesting. It's so interesting to see how another culture lives and how they act too. Like we've lived a number of experiences with Japanese people, whether it's our classmates or whether it's like strangers on the street. I remember one time we were lost trying to get to a club, and this Japanese guy that we just asked in which direction is this street proceeds to like bring us. He was walking on the opposite side, mind you.
Yeah.
Bring us all the way in front of the building we wanted to go to.
And then he went back to right.
It's like wow.
Where would you find that?
The legendary politeness and like. They will
not even just fine, but like mindfulness.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
they're ready to help you.
Yeah.
You know, and of course it's not all like beautiful stars and nice people. You know.
When you live there for that long, you are bound to run into some experiences that are maybe not so
positive. You know, I remember one of our friends was saying like they try to get into a liquor store. We were all like of age, you know, adults there.
Obviously.
They try to get into a liquor store and the lady just like told them like, no, we don't want you.
We don't serve foreigners
exactly.
In this store. So it can happen.
It can happen.
And
again, don't let it ruin your journey though. Like a vast majority of the time we had a great time. The people were nice. The food was nice. Yeah,
like everywhere you'll find the good and the bad. So just if you just try to stay focused on the good things, it's easy in Japan really.
Yeah.
It's easy to find enough good experiences.
To have fun.
Yeah.
And I think we've went through all the main points we wanted to talk about. Do you have any last advice that you want to give people who would want to go to Tokyo, whether to live there or whether to visit as a student?
If you do go there for a longer time as a student, don't waste time because Tokyo is so big that like we've been there for a year and we've done so many things, but I do realize that there's still things like other things that
there was more to see.
There was more to see to it, exactly. So don't think that just because you've been to like all the main like touristic points that you've seen Tokyo. Don't stop
There's
there.
More.
Just keep going. If you're there just to visit, try to know exactly what it is that you're interested in, and just try to find out like different places and different ways to experience it.
So that was pretty much it. Next time we'll talk about Kyoto. If you want to be there for that video, be sure to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. For anyone who's been to Tokyo or who's thinking about going to Tokyo, leave a comment below saying like, what did you like there or what would you like to see there or to do? And have a nice day.